Hi everyone, it's Raphael here from Live Well, Build Well, and today it's my pleasure to introduce Jasmin Lawrence, a residential construction project manager and site manager. And Jasmin, thanks for your time today. Thanks for joining us on Live Well, Build Well.
Pleasure. No, it's nice to be on the other side. Actually, someone asked me some questions.
Oh, right. So you're normally you've got like a podcast or something,
Yeah, well,
Jasmin? Yeah.
normally that's normally the coup, me asking the questions, and yeah.
Oh, great. Jasmin, are you able to tell us a little bit about your background and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm originally from the UK. I've been in New Zealand for 7.5 years. So I'm actually from a heavily indulged construction family back in the UK. My granddad's an architect and builder, very hard-faced white man, which is yeah, his way or the highway basically. So I got brought up around, mental health, just shum to one side and everything's going to be okay, and be a man on site, and quite yeah, broad shoulders, my upbringing. So when I come to New Zealand, it was quite refreshing to see the difference in the way that everyone's attacking sort of this construction industry, and more women in the industry, which has been awesome. So I got back into it. I helped Matt a little bit when I was younger in the UK, but since I've been in New Zealand, I've just been working on site with lots of New Zealanders at the moment. The last 2.5 years has been pretty manic up in Auckland, with over 200 contractors. So it's been a whirlwind, but really good. Very much enjoying it in New Zealand. So yeah.
Great. Jasmin, tell us what you love about your job.
Oh gosh, the people. So, yeah, I love doing what I'm doing. I love construction, it's in my blood. I'm very passionate about it. However, what gets me out of bed every day is just, my people. So working as a site manager, you're the lead of everything. So you're the overarching person that everyone needs on site, and you organize everything and delegate everything. But I think what goes amiss a lot is the fact that generally you have to have a lot of empathy, and you have to, be aware of people's feelings. Because times are tough, times have been tough. And I think even more so, my role has accommodated a whole different line of work for me, which is more the fact of, are you okay, and how's everyone doing? So yeah, that's what I love about my job, and I love the fact that it brings me closer to people, and I get to understand what's going on in people's lives, and yeah, hopefully helping them with work as well along the way, and making it a nice working environment. So yeah, if it wasn't for the people and a large work site that I was on, I probably wouldn't find it that enjoyable. But yeah, that's what I love most about my work.
Oh, fantastic, Jasmin. Jasmin, as far as your own challenges, are you able to sort of talk us through a time that you were challenged at work and it was challenging maybe to you both mentally and physically?
Yeah, God, I think the more I think about it, I think coming from the UK and from a very hard-faced, upbringing with the construction, my grandfather I lived with, to come into New Zealand and being a female in my sector, I generally used to not really think about my own mental well-being, my own health. So I put everyone before myself. And I think something that I've struggled with is trying to step up and be like the other men on site, because obviously men find it tough to talk about things on site. So, leading by example, I've struggled with the fact that I've just powered out and gone, thought about other people and not really thought about myself. So, I've struggled with taking a step back and actually saying it's okay. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay not to be okay. And I don't need to prove myself as the strong person on site all the time. Yeah, which has been quite tough for me, because being a site manager, you have to sort of lead by example, but also that means leading by example in the sense of talking about if something's not quite right as well. So yeah, I've grown as a person the last few years, and actually being able to be a bit more expressive about that. But I still struggle with it. Still very much, it's really funny because you think the men are like that, but I've probably been worse than a lot of males on my site, and
Right.
quite hypocritical sometimes as well. So yeah.
Great. Jasmin, can you talk us through what you do on the weekend after a tough week? What do you do to recover
Sleep.
and to you sorry?
Sleep.
Oh,
At
great.
the moment, sleep. But no,
Yeah.
very much into my fitness. Where I haven't been too good the last few months, and yeah, just socializing and going out for some food, catching up with some friends, trying to switch off. So I'm very, very good at leaving my phone in the car after work, and that's sort of me.
Right.
until the next morning. So yeah, and the weekends as well. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
Fantastic. Any sort of lifestyle changes that you've had that you know that really goes towards helping you to become mentally robust and resilient?
Not staying past designated time at work, and actually having physical breaks a lot more and getting away from my desk, and also taking care of myself a little bit more, like, again, putting myself first, making sure that I'm getting adequate amount of sleep, not consistently thinking about work has been the biggest one. Yeah.
Jasmin, you look after 200 contractors, I think you told me. What are some of the common, what do you tell your workers as far as encouraging them to look after themselves with their, keeping mentally robust and resilient? What's your advice to them?
Yeah, well, I mean, I take the time out to individually speak to as many as I can. I mean, you say 200 contractors, but I predominantly deal with their PCBU or their foreman on site. But what I have been doing the last year is physically interacting with them a little bit more, and just slight nudges of making sure, if you had your breaks today, and I can control what I can control. So when we're scheduling and putting things on these contractors, the main thing that I know that I'm doing personally is giving them an adequate amount of time and not too much pressure on their side. And I make that quite vocal to them as well, saying, if you can't achieve this in a certain time frame, please don't push yourself. Come and see me and we can sort that out. So ensuring that the environment is pleasant enough, and they know that they're trusted and respected enough and valued enough to hopefully come to me if they are pressurized in certain areas, and I can help them with that as well with their immediate foreman. So just setting the tone.
Fantastic. Jasmin, what improvements do you think there needs to be as far as workers with their mental health, as far as what can they do more to look after themselves, do you feel?
I think food is really important. I think it's a tough question to answer now, because the economy is, I can sit here and go better working hours, 4-day working weeks, cheaper, healthy foods for them to eat. If things weren't so expensive, then they wouldn't be so stressed. So, I think on a whole, it's really hard what to preach in this day and age, because I know what I would want to make my lifestyle better, but I know physically sometimes I can't afford that. And I know full well that we work with a lot of guys in their apprenticeships, that are getting sweet, nothing, and living at home with their parents and struggling still. And they're spending their money on pies, cakes, and Red Bull just to get to work every day and fuel. So it's really hard what I can, there's obviously in my ideal world, it would be the fact that I could offer them, healthy lifestyles of eating and gym memberships and fuel for their car and childcare costs going down and making sure they're on more money to meet the economy. That's what's really tough. So it's, what can we physically say to them and help them? All I can do is, I really would like to think that companies that they work for offer support. And the one thing that I'm sort of struggling with at the moment, I think, with larger organizations and certain, construction companies in particular, and just industries, that they talk about mental well-being and health and well-being, but what physically are they doing for the people on the ground? So, we've got like parental leave, okay, that's fantastic, and we've got other things going in, and discounted rates in certain areas and Southern Cross, but what are you really doing for the people on the ground that are struggling and breaking their back physically to survive? So I think, the wholeness of the wellness and programs on site, stretching in the morning and talking to someone and having someone like an actual counsellor that's going around and speaking to them, because I have to still do my job, but I'm trying to be a counsellor, a mother, a fitness instructor, a nutritionist. I do my best to offer that, but I still need to go back and do my work, and that's really tough when that interferes with if someone's not doing their job correctly. So I find there's, honestly, I generally, I don't know what we can do. I think what we're doing now is setting these platforms and talking about it more, but it just goes round and round. What we need to do is improve lifestyles, which means we need to improve pay. We need to actually look at the working hours that we're dealing with, and we need to not pressurize our workers as much, but that comes from what company you're working for. So what do we need to do? Go to the overarching bodies of companies that are burning out their staff.
Yeah, fantastic. Great,
Mm.
great insights. Jasmin, what are your final words to workers as far as things that they have control of directly? You're talking about a lot of things that workers don't have control of, like what they get paid and the hours. A lot of it's controlled by their employer. But what's your final advice to workers? In areas that they can help themselves a bit more and to be resilient and robust in the workplace from your perspective?
From my perspective, depending on the situations are all different, and what I say to my guys, and this may be of some use to anyone out there listening. So you have guys come in that are younger, you have family guys, you have middle age. We have a whole diverse of people, so everyone's way of making things easier can be different, but I think the one thing that is the same is we all get up, we all get to go to work, we all know that we are allowed our working breaks, we all know that we're allowed our lunches, we all know that we can control what we can control, and the outside of that is the fact that don't work yourself to the ground. You can control it. For me, for example, I say take your breaks, take your lunches. No one's going to sack you for taking what is rightly yours. No one is, if you're getting your job done, if you feel there is too much and you can't physically do it, you need to speak about it. So using your work as a place of a getaway can be helpful. Like, I know there's lots of guys on my site in particular that I've noticed over the 2 years would be very stressed, but I'd be like, okay, well, that's at home, and actually you turned it around to be taking this as a relief when they're at work. Put some music on, enjoy the company of other people, actually just be with yourself and be happy, because wherever you are is where you're meant to be right now. That's not going to change. But if it does get to the point when it comes too much, I just hope that they can talk to their managers or their superior and something can change. And I think it goes back to, you can control what you can control. So don't shy away from the fact of making it a negative thing of where we work. And there's lots of negative things out there. We've got to try and make the best of what we've got. So it's, when you leave that front door, put some music on, zone out. These next 8 hours are going to be at work, and you need to do this to survive in life, but let's try and make these 8 hours as nice as possible. So changing little habits, stopping, like if you're in front of the computer, walk away from it, have a walk around site if you're getting too much. And yeah, I think, hopefully that people out there, they've got a nice enough working environment or people that they can talk to. And on the back of it as well, New Zealand on a whole offers so many services out there for people that are struggling, as in financially, with their marriage, with their kids. Use them. Use the numbers, and take control of your life, because you've got one body and one mind to go through life. And I think you need to just step outside, and it won't change unless you're willing to change. So you just need to use those around you a bit more. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Jasmin. Really appreciate it. Yeah, and look forward to keeping in touch. And one day I'll catch you on site. We'll do a little on-site visit and capture some insights. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, Jasmin.
No worries.